books, and the first book that I have here is A Gardener's Alphabet by Mary as Aran. And this book is quite tricky. I'm going to start that off because the words that they use are pretty big words. So I would recommend this book probably for third graders and up, just because the words are so hard and there is so much reading. It's not like a picture book for like a toddler or second and under. But this story is about Mary and her granddaughter, Annie, and how they wanted to start a garden. But in this garden, they wanted to use words that would be able to use in an alphabet. So they have for A for arbor, B for buds, C compost, dig for D, and etc. These are big words and they are very useful because you get to know what they mean and then you can ask what they are used for. And it quite shows you what they could be used for. So, like harvest. Everyone knows what harvest is. It's around October. And pumpkins. Who doesn't like pumpkins? And that's what really caught my eye to this story, is that they have a bunch of stuff that kids do nowadays. And then they have Japanese garden, and obviously this looks like it's from Japan a little bit, and so they like try to custom into this story themes that are used. And this book is definitely a good children's book if you ask me, because it just helps them with the ABCs. It helps them see new words and understand new words and etc. And it has pictures, and everyone loves picture books. So I recommend this book to third graders and older because it's a good learning book. The next book I have is Eating the Alphabet by Louis Ehlert. And so in this book, it talks about A for apple, or asparagus, or avocados. And so in this book, you talk about fruits and you get to learn your fruits and your vegetables. And it's very useful because if you're like, oh, you see this on your plate that your mom made, you could be like, oh, that's asparagus. I read about that in a book. So I recommend this book to about first graders and up, because these words are definitely going to be a little more challenging for kindergarten kids, but they get to see the pictures if you were to read this to them. B is for banana, broccoli, and so on. And then C is for corn, cherries, carrot, cabbage. Cabbage. Who doesn't love cabbage? And it just goes and on and on and on about the fruits and the vegetables that the ABC has to offer for them. And it just tells about what they get to know and how they get to learn it, what it looks like. And so I recommend this book because it's definitely such a child-friendly book and it's useful in many ways. And then the third book that I have for the ABCs is Baby's First Animals. And this book is definitely a good one because you get to see a picture, you get to read what that is. So this is a duck, obviously, and then they have a duck underneath it. And then we have it's a baby duck, and then we have an older duck here. Pig. And then we have a big cow. Sheep, older sheep. And this book definitely just gets to let kids see what this animal is, and basically kids know what animals are, and so this just gets to help them reading and to seeing and everything else like that. And so I recommend this book to kids, so many kids. I think every kid should be able to read this book, see this book, be read this book, because it is so useful in this generation, because there are so many animals out, and people go to the zoo a lot and they can be like, oh, that's a sheep, or that's a horse, or that's a giraffe. Dogs, people have dogs, and they have cats, and the dogs get older, they're not just always going to stay puppies. So I recommend this book to so many teachers and so many parents.